Hello guys, good to see you all. We are starting now, and that's exactly the time. I hope you can see me and I hope you can hear me. I'm just trying my microphone and it sounds great. The sound a little bit higher now. The level. Very good. So that's great, and that's basically we are at the end of the road. No. This is too negative. We're in the beginning of the road, but talking about these 3 masterclasses, we are at the end of the road. We have the 3rd masterclass today, and I told you basically that. Just a second, let me try now. Have to have this one. I will shift to the other microphone afterwards. So basically, we have had interesting masterclasses. The breathing was very important. Nutrition was also very important. But you know, we always talk about nutrition, and this is kind of, you see, most of the people really want to talk about nutrition because nutrition, that's what is, there's a lot of controversies about nutrition. And breathing is not really in the focus in the social media. You know, it's not really popular. So I always say, okay guys, you see, real big difference you can make in your life, do in your life, that's through breathing. Breathing is the most important thing, though nutrition is also, but I really want to change this balance between focus on breathing and nutrition, always starting with breathing. That's also what I do on my programs, always starting with breathing, because basically the biggest changes, the biggest connection to your inner self that makes a very big difference, you can do through breathing. And that's fantastic. Okay, and today, our plan today is to be very practical. And I have to warn you a little bit, not about my the guest. There's a fantastic guest we have today. And the guys who you have been on the program before, and I really want you to come back again. You know him, and he will tell a little bit about his experiences. It will be around 20 minutes, and then I will take you on a little journey. And I just want to warn you, I will be different places in this journey. Keep on following me, because I believe that this journey that I will take you on is very crucial to understand on how our program is going to work. And the program that I made for you, the idea is very unique, and I'm very proud that we're there. I'm very, very inspired. Also for people that have been on the program, and I say, hi Kim, hi Nils, hi Arend, hi Catherine, hi Thea, and we see Berit, we see Pierre, fantastic, and Deep, and Dirk, very, very good. And Dirk, I'm looking forward working with you too. Fantastic. So basically, And then I will tell you about a little bit about the program, about the difference we can make together, and then we can start. So that's the plan. So now I'm giving a sign to our guest that to call me, and he will join us in a second through Skype, and I hope everything is going to work okay. We just had a little Russian session. We had problem with the camera, so I really in the second. So here he goes, here he comes, and we say hello to Osip.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Osip. Just a second. Let me.
Misha.
Just a second. Let me. Here we go. And we have Osip here.
Do you see me? Do you hear me?
I see you and I can hear you, and it's
Okay, I don't
really
see
great.
you, but I hear you. That's enough.
Yeah, exactly, because we're on Skype.
Okay.
And I now let you fill the whole screen, Osip, and you can do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Just a second. Here we go. And swap cameras. Yes! Wow, Osip. That's big. That's
Misha,
big.
you're so good at all those
Okay,
technical stuff.
guys, we have an enrollment opening today. It's August 11th, and we have our guest, and that's Osip. Osip, please introduce yourself, and I will not lead you with questions because you know what to talk about. Basically, I want to tell you about your experience on the program. Oh wow, we can see some pictures of Sakharoff protocol connecting the dots on 5-stage rocket. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, that's one of the most important ones for me right now, because I came to the program because I had some problems with my health, and I'll tell you my story. And discovering the 5-stage rocket has been really an eye opener for me because of all the connections, and that's what you learn on the program. You learn the connections between the elements of your sickness and the elements of your health. So, like what it's like a chain going one direction or the other direction. The synergy of the different aspects of what we're working with can go in the wrong way. That's the normal lifestyle, and which brings the lifestyle diseases. And then we're on the program. We're trying to we are changing our lifestyle in order to heal the diseases by that, not by swallowing the pills. Um, I grew up. I was born in Moscow in Soviet Union and came to Denmark when I was 18 and lived until 33 years of age being vegetarian. I was brought up vegetarian, and I tasted. I ate a lot of dairy, of course, when I was a
So
kid,
you were
and then
born vegetarian
I was brought up vegetarian.
and
Exactly.
born in wow.
Well, um, you I guess yes, yeah. Like you said once that the babies are in ketosis because the breast milk keeps you in ketosis as a baby. But ever since I've been vegetarian. So when I was 33, I decided to try out normal food and being normal. So I ate like everybody else with meat and fish and poultry and dairy for a while. And then I came to the program in the age of, what was it, 47, 48. So it's like, it's soon 3 years ago. So when I was a kid, no wonder I had asthma. I had severe asthma since I was 5. I had allergies. Every summer, I had, I couldn't breathe with my nose because of the what is called flower pollen, or dust or anything. I just couldn't breathe. And when I was 37 years old, I discovered the Buteyko breathing method, and ever since it's been a part of my life. Though in the beginning, before I came to your program, Misha, and got some new understandings of Buteyko pattern. In the beginning, I was doing it through a lot of willpower. I've been classical musician. This requires a lot of willpower, and I've been brought up, like, are you doing your stuff? Well, this is willpower. So to cure the to pick the to stop the asthma attack, I've learned some Buteyko exercises, and I was doing them quite effectively, so that I didn't have asthma. I didn't need asthma medicine. I didn't need spray any longer. The inhalator from the age of 37, which is good, which was a success. But then I got reflux. Busy lifestyle, family, working during the day, staying up till late, keeping yourself up with wine or chocolate or sweets every evening.
Eating very often.
Oh, definitely, absolutely. Because when you're eating normal diet, the carbs keep you craving food again and again. So I was diagnosed with loose sphincter and reflux because I had pain in my solar plexus. And the specialist
You mean gastroesophageal sphincter, right? This upper sphincter.
gastroesophageal sphincter, exactly, yes. So the guy who was examining me, he of course prescribed the what you call those the medicine that kills the production of gastric acid. And
Omeprazole.
right
Omeprazole.
there, exactly, right there was when I left his office, I was like, I didn't know anything about it, but I thought, come on, this can't be right. That you need to destroy a function in order to save a person from getting in perspective even maybe cancer in the esophagus. Definitely, if the problem continues and the cells get irritated again and again. Well, I thought I had to find some other solutions, and I spoke to you, Misha, and I started the program. In the beginning, it was, of course, difficult to find all the new, ways of living, but it was worth it because now I am in a place where I really enjoy being myself. Uh, Technically, why do we do it? To be healthy, to enjoy life. So I want to. I've written down some stuff about what the program has given me, and in order to have it all, I'll read it up. So one of the points is the feeling of safety. When something doesn't work, I ask the question on Q&A sessions. And Misha finds the most thorough, sometimes surprising, and always useful information, and comes with positive comments about my efforts. That was also nice. That's you are very encouraging. Even I was thinking, come on, my results are so poor, and you're like, man, you're keeping such a process, and Yeah, then you relax, and that this has a very profound effect in terms of inspiration.
It's
So
called,
so you do that.
I'm sick with, I have a problem. It's called the chronic exclamation.
Chronic exclamation. Okay.
Chronic
So
exclamation.
yeah. Okay. Next thing, the improved quality of sleep. This is amazing. I haven't been sleeping well. I've been, standing up to pee, or just not being able to sleep. Like, everybody knows that. Not being able to fall asleep. Gosh, I fall asleep like a baby. I follow my natural rhythm now. I've learned that there is a thing that's called natural rhythm. I didn't know that, and that's what you get on the program. You get good sleep. Now I'm closing my eyes in the evening when it feels good. And I open my eyes and it's morning. And it is not like 8 or 7 or 6. It's between 4 and 5. And after taking the meditation with the diminished breathing in the morning, when you lie down and you do this relaxation, you feel heavy, and you relax, and the only thing you have to do is just relax and let go and let the breath work for you, and you get warmer and warmer and more awake. So what's not to like? So that I enjoy a lot, because then I just stand up around 5 o'clock, maybe drink a warm drink of water with some salt, and do some exercise, or just go out and do the steps. So the next thing, walking. I've learned walking. I started 4 foot walking back maybe 4 years ago already. I've tried it out. Yeah, back in 18 I began. And the whole structure of my body through the last 4 years has changed. And can I feel it? Oh yeah, because I had back pain. I had a lot of pain in the lower back, and I also had a lot of pain in my neck. Well, no wonder I was sitting and working last 30 years. And also, um, those things, they do follow each other, and that's the great thing about being on the program. You figure out why things are connected, how things are connected. So the posture is definitely connected with asthma, and definitely connected with the reflux disease, with the disability of the diaphragm to work properly. Well, these are details of my process, but what I've discovered is how the element of 4 foot walking opens me up like a flower, making me more healthy in completely surprising sort of connections. But still,
That's
it's
really
amazing.
that's really fantastic with those interdependencies. You sometimes find out some really crazy things that that even very hard to start talking to people about. I mean, um, crazy connections together. But
Yeah.
you start being aware and finding them by yourself, right? Opening them for
Also,
yourself.
that yes, yes, you can say so, because you give the impulse to work with things, and then I think I can only talk about myself, but I have discovered those things um, partly through the comments of you, or in Q&A sessions, or in meetings on the program, but also just alone for myself. So yes, it's the multiplication of knowledge. Speaking of knowledge, I think the program is extremely rich in knowledge that gives security. In a way that what you present us for um, is knowledge that is based on research. you've done this research, you found others that have done thorough research, and it's all there. It's all there to get and to read. If you want to go in depth with some aspects, you get a lot of information. You don't have to grasp it all at all. That's the good thing as well, because you do the grasping for the pupils on the program, but the pupil can dive into some aspects if needed.
That's a very interesting thing, because that's basically, I always say to people that they can feel overwhelmed because there's a lot of information. I say, okay, guys, we need to go with small steps and try to grasp some of it and try to basically make it practical. So start with a little practice, not necessarily everything, and not at all everything. So what I'm basically trying to give them small drops, dripping some drops in the brains in order to start thinking, right, and then practicing. That's the thing.
That's true. And also a very good thing about the program that I have benefited a lot from is the spiral of returning to the same topics on the next level. And again, the same topics, but on the next level, because it's not a repetition. And even if it was a repetition, you still yourself evolve and get things in a new way. But you give things on a higher level gradually, and it's working very fine, I think. Okay. Well, I've learned to sleep. I've learned to eat, and this eating, the paradigm shift of being vegetarian first, and then being a normal guy, and then becoming carnivore, and within last 3/4 of a year, it's raw carnivore, and I enjoy it, and I feel healthy through this. I really enjoy my stable energy. You know, the good thing about our bodies, that they can heal themselves if we don't interfere. And food is sometimes interfering, you know, with the process of the body to heal. You can tell much more about it, but what I mean is, it's good to eat only once a day, because then the body can relax, and it's much easier on. Inspired by all the knowledge on the program, it's much easier to do that than if you just, you know, I know a guy who's vegetarian who's doing one meal a day. I'm not sure he's having. I think he has really great willpower, and I don't need willpower to do one meal a day and to let my body heal throughout the rest of the clock.
Very important aspect, this, that you don't need to use willpower. That's what people used to do.
Yeah. And well, learning to breathe. Again, doing Buteyko in the beginning for me with asthma attacks, it was through willpower. And then gradually meeting your way of using Buteyko, your understanding of it, I got enriched by this term of profound relaxation. So on my board here, I have this, and I've written it maybe even like 1.5 years ago. I've discovered it. It says, "Okay, just relax. The breath will follow," which means that the door to diminished breathing comes again through the posture. And I work a lot with posture, and posture for me comes from 4-foot walking. All this you can learn on the program, put on different shelves, you don't have to do it at once, all of it, but gradually you get all the tools, all the elements, and it works.
Very much. Thank you very much, Osip. This is great to have an inspiration. It's not only I am a talking head here, but we have two talking heads, and one of with all of our different inspirations, different backgrounds. That's it's inspiring for people, I think, to hear. That's great. Thank you very much. You want to add something?
I want to add one crazy thing,
Yeah.
also the aspect of being on the program. Um, I think it's a bit difficult in order to, in terms of looking around and seeing many potentially sick people, many sick people, just knowing that just those things, they don't work there. But well, radical acceptance, as you say, and also, but very, 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 very strong wish to do something. And then my GP, what she said, my general practitioner, she said, well, 30% of population have reflux. We must consider it to be normal.
Oh man.
So yeah. So what's a very important thing is the prerequisite for our work is the ability to work, the ability to think independently. I think it's extremely important.
That's a great
So
point. That's a great point. Osip, thank you very much. And I really,
thank you, Pete.
and it always great to work together. You know, guys, that's it takes two to tango. And actually, Osip is really good at tango. So he's a dancer too. So he can give us on the program. He can give us some inspiration with the tango. And Osip, you don't see it. You don't see it, but I have something that you taught me here in my hands, and you don't know what it is, right?
Okay.
That's
no, I have a black screen here.
That's the GT glass from Gin and Tonic, and I have something else in it, and it's called Silver Tea. Remember that?
Oh yeah, man.
It helped me a lot, to avoid to avoid coming closer to the fridge, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely, I do. Everybody has, you must be inventive. You must be inventive in changing your life patterns, and that with the big, fat, entertaining dinner or supper, eating all evening through. That's a big thing. That's a challenge, and you have to be inventive. I invented a thing. I promised myself a very luxurious breakfast, and I believe it every time. And in the morning, I don't really care, but it works.
That's great. That's great. And also, sometimes it's time to make something different, and then it's called hormesis, and we're training our metabolic flexibility, exactly, right? And it happens from time to time, and it's also okay. But we are strong enough with our patterns that are strong every day during the week that we can do it. It's not a problem at all. So thank you very much, Osip. It's
Thank you.
it's very inspiring, man.
Thanks
Looking
for
forward.
inviting.
Look forward going into next year together.
Yeah,
Love you.
absolutely.
Love you.
Love
Okay,
you too.
guys. Thank you so much. So you can just disconnect. Thank you very
Let me
much.
see. I can find the button. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. And I'm here, and I'm just changing. Here we go. And I hope you hear me. It's better sound now. That's a microphone, a good professional microphone. Okay. So thank you, Osip, very much. It was very inspiring. And I can tell you today is a very special day for me, guys. It took time for me to formulate what I need to do on this page of my life. Because, you know, we have different pages in our lives, right? And when we're going forward, we need to reconsider, we need to rethink, and we need to reformulate, and we need to readjust very often. So, and that's also how it works for me. So this time I said to myself that I want to find people who want to be close to their purpose. And I want to walk with the path with them together. And we can call it my tribe. And you know, there's a lot of people here that are already following the program. The new people, Nils, I can see, and Deep, I can see they are new on the program. I actually just started, and then I see a lot of people here that have been on the program before. And I'm talking to all of you guys. I want to walk the path together with you. You are my tribe, and the people that want to connect to the program, they also are tribe because they're interested. Somehow our energy are connecting, are coming closer to each other, right? You are kind of coming through the filters of complexity, through the filters of understanding of some interconnections, interdependence of human health, the need to take full responsibility. So, and I think the tribes are now becoming increasingly necessary for those who want to preserve a way of life that runs counter to the world. And I want to talk a little bit about you, and please talk about this. Please be with me, and please understand that it's very crucial to talk about this to make my point. Final point. And about being close to the purpose. I have found the state where the purpose resides, actually. And that's very interesting. And where you can find it, and also in the times where it's not easily accessible. You know, sometimes to find the purpose, it's so life-giving. You ask the question why, and the answer is there right away. So for me, this point where it's accessible, my purpose, and the whole idea with the life, that's Hara point. And it's not a point as most of the people think. It's actually, if they're knowledgeable at all that this place exists, during the last couple of years, I found out that it's actually more of a state. The state that you can enter and you can stay inside of it. And the more you train this place, the more physical it becomes. I actually writing a book about it, and I made a little course, 2 weeks course about Hara. And I really want to talk a little bit about that and the connection with the world that we live in. I want people to learn to know this state. It's a state you can surrender to and know for sure that it will be another surprising place it will take you to. And next place can be different from one that you have been in before. It had taken it before. For example, this morning I woke up very early. I woke up at around quarter to 4. And it was surprising because, and it's very often because I'm waking up with the jackals. You know what it is? That's what I do. I don't get up with the roosters. I get up with the jackals. Why? Well, I live in Bulgaria, and we don't have roosters right here. There may be some other places in Bulgaria they have roosters. They have jackals here. And I use this possibility to listen to their howling. Basically, it's kind of a screaming. If you can find a passing kind of a beast in your own area, you should definitely do it, and you should use the beast to get an inspiration. What I get energy from it. I wake up and I'm ready to go, and it's animal energy. This is fantastic. So using jackals or roosters to get up at 4 and being fully loaded with energy, isn't it great? And enjoying it, not thinking that this is a pain in the ass. This is fantastic. So for many of us, it requires a quantum leap And what is that? It's actually about having energy to come to the next level of your life. It's called the quantum leap. Quantum leap is a huge, often sudden, increase or advance in something. And I made this quantum leap several times in my life. Several times. When I was drafted to the army in Russia in the middle of the 80s, was a serious time. It was the end of a Russian mission into Afghanistan. I was very shocked because I knew from the stories of my peers what this military operation was like. Have never experienced being in a real harsh environment before. And I was lucky not to be sent to Afghanistan. But we've been in different maneuvers in Soviet, different places, Bulgaria, White Russia, Belarus, Ukraine. There was no borders at that time. So and I decided, basically being an army soldier, harsh thing for me. Loving life, loving music, loving girls at that time. And then I decided to use my new situation of being an army soldier to something completely different. I decided that I was drafted to the army to uplift my poems. I was writing poems at that time, not music. Actually, it was in 1986, and I remember it was 23rd of April, 86. We came to Ukraine to military maneuvers. We were stationed close to Kiev. It was a place called Buzovaya. And then it happened. It was the 26th. It happened. And you know Chernobyl. So what did I do when I found out what happened? It was only 2 days after we got the message. Our officers knew it, but they didn't say to us. And they gave us the message, and they gave us the Geiger tellers also. When I was off duty, I wrote poems because it helped me very much. It brought me to the next level. And I actually wrote them on a very small pieces of paper to not risk being ridiculed. So small pieces of paper. Because the sergeant once found out one of my poems about love and pushed me to read it in front of the whole regiment. Man, that was not nice. And I still have one of those tiny pieces of paper. So my poems were about life. And they seemed pretty deep at that moment, you know. So I guess I was already primed to not react with fear. And that's a crucial learning from the army that I got. But the quantum leap started when I found out, you never know. That's the thing about life. You never know. So quantum leap for me started when I found that there was a piano in a corner of our military club. And nobody played this piano. And it was totally out of tune. It was a piano worthy of Tom Waits playing on it and singing, "The piano has been drinking. The piano has been drinking. Not me. Not me." Remember that? I tuned the piano myself using a big army screw wrench borrowed from one of the cars. So that it was a lovely old Russian piano there. It was cheap piano, but it was lonely piano. So I basically decided to make it happy. And I started right away. And this served as a quantum leap for my music. Because then I found the place in my heart where the music resides. And it helped me so much to survive the Russian army and Soviet army. And it has followed me every day since then. Gave me a very special energy and a possibility to recover from the challenges of life. I would like to show you pictures of it, but I don't have it. It's in Denmark. I have some pictures of me playing piano that time. So that was my first quantum leap that was very, very meant a lot for me. 5 years after that experience, it helped me to survive, basically. You see? 5 years after that experience, another possibility for a quantum leap happened for me. And it was 89. And remember, the 89, the Berlin Wall fell. It was November 9th. And exactly 1 month later, almost exactly, if you can say that, December 8th, I crossed the Soviet border for the first time in my life. I was taking a flight to Copenhagen. I was invited to study jazz vocals in the Conservatory of Copenhagen with Richard Boone, who was a trombonist and singer from Count Basie's orchestra. He was my main teacher. Wow, a black man that was bearing the whole story, the history of jazz, and he talked this way, he spoke this way, and he was singing this way, playing this way. It was like, wow, it was a big, long wow. Wow, first time out of Soviet, and it was a wow. And then I had my Aeroflot ticket home. Boy, did I want to leave back to Mother Russia? Hell no. And then I was forced to act. So I took this Aeroflot ticket, and that was a quantum leap moment. I took the Aeroflot ticket and I ripped it over. I remember that moment. It was in a bathroom of some jazz cafe in Copenhagen. And for me, it felt like a secret operation. My heart pounded because, after all, I loved my mother, I loved my father very much. I loved my friends, I loved also my country somehow. And it was a bye-bye to my country because basically I decided to become a defector. After my stay as an exchange student in Denmark, it expired. So I became a defector. But somehow inside I felt no fear. Again, I just listened to my inner self, which somehow already this early in life was taught to be true to itself. And my itself said, no fucking way. That was a decision. That's how my story in the West started. And it was a quantum leap for me. Absolutely. It led me to the place where I am now. I'm not in Denmark. I'm very grateful to Denmark for that. That's the place where it started, and I lived there for 32 years. So I learned to put myself in the situation where myself was forced to develop, to evolve. And who taught me that? My father. He always sent me to the bookshelves. I asked him a question. He said, you go to the shelves, find out, and then tell me. We had 3 encyclopedias in Russian and 2 in French, and then you need to act. And that's how I learned that challenging yourself is inevitably, intrinsically connected with inspiration. So when you change yourself, you put yourself in the place where you need to act, and it's connected with the inspiration. And inspiration brings you further in your life. So when you open the old, I remember, when you open the old book from 1890, that's where the old, it's called Brockhaus encyclopedia was from, 82 volumes of that encyclopedia, and old pages with illustrations, with this thin, delicate, call it vellum paper or sheer, you can see through it, transparent paper, translucent paper, delicate paper between the pages where the illustrations are. You open it, and it has this special smell. I remember that. So I used to open the volume with this particular letter that I needed. I found it on the shelf. Watch the words that emerged there, And there were many possibilities to be inspired. It was 82 main volumes, 4 additional volumes in the encyclopedia. And then we also had another edition from before World War I. Only 29 volumes of like 45 were published. And the last word was in the volume 29, and the word was Otto. It's crazy, I remember that. So it stopped there because the First World War started, and Russia was very much involved in that. And as you know, encyclopedias have always been under prioritized in war time. So often I just stayed with this one volume there where I opened it, and often I never came back to my father. He used to shout from another room, "So what? Did you find it? Tell me." So that's how inspiration works. It enables you to learn, to suck in information, and to emerge. And there are many stories to tell. But everything starts with the possibility for a quantum leap. where you take the responsibility and you decide and you do the step. It's like standing on the cliff and then falling down. Sometimes it feels like that, and then you learn to fly. Don't do it at home, but maybe it's a bad picture to tell you. But my father also inspired me with music in this way, jazz and Latin. I stayed in Cuba in the early 60s. That's a matter of a closed masterclass that we also actually have in the program, about the importance of having creativity in your life, having arts and dancing. So in my early years, I learned to not focus on my challenges, but focus on my purpose. That's what your inner self tells you. That's what happens when you learn to listen to your inner voice. That's your inner self. Later I found out that is exactly the place where the Hara resides. And then a new journey started. I believe I'm somewhere in the middle of that journey now, but nobody knows. As Woody Allen would put it, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him about your plans. So I'm 56 now. I want to live a long life without disease, with my dear girlfriend, with my children, and I'm actively priming myself for it. But yeah, I don't know. But I know what my purpose in life is, and I need my tribe. And we all need the tribe, especially in those years where our beautiful planet seems to be taken over by the gang of psychopaths. We shall overcome, but to do this, we need to be strong. How I left Denmark, it's crucial to understand. In the beginning of 21, it happened with me that I heard that the Danish government decided to override the recommendation of doctors, actually, of two professional organizations, one of doctors and one of pediatric doctors, to wait with vaccination of children with the untested chemical compound that could actually, it was a big risk for it, to increase the risk of serious adverse reactions in children, adverse effects. And when I heard that the political decision overrode the recommendation of doctors, that very moment I decided that I have to leave that country. And my bonds that used to bind me to Denmark suddenly vanished, evaporated. I understood that I needed to leave the country. The love was gone. I forced myself to take a stand and take a decision. Once again, I decided to leave my home after 32 years. So 2 weeks after, I drove 2,500 kilometers through Europe to Bulgaria in my Mini Cooper, together with my dog Teddy, my most important books, and my guitar. And now I understand that this latest decision was also a road to quantum leap that we can engage in now, together. Let me tell you a little bit about it. For most of the year, I was in the state of inner exile, and I talked to many of you. It's also the same state some people that are aware of what is happening in the world are in. And I was working, running my groups, teaching, but I had to find my role in the world, and in the world that is rapidly changing in the craziest direction ever. I saw more and more clearly the direction where we are heading, where we are going. Pavlov, remember the guy? Pavlov experimented with the fact that with two signaling systems, and that second signaling systems become the prerogative of the first. For example, a woman was shown a blue object. And the first signaling system is saying, okay, it's a blue object. Looks like that, it's called blue. But she was told that it was green. And after 5 people in front of her called the object green, she agreed that it must be green indeed. So the second signaling system overrides the messages of the first, becomes a prerogative of the first. So what happens with us, with the world population? Authoritarianism. Also in science, is becoming increasingly accepted more and more. Not particularly because so many people explicitly believe in it, not at all, but because they feel individually powerless and anxious. So what else can one do except follow the mass political leader, or follow the authority, or customs, or public opinion, or social expectations? One of the big ones. And also, are people becoming wiser in terms of listening to the opposing views? I know many of you have experience with that. You say, not at all. People are mostly primed to close as fast as a shell and then put a label on you. The people who are trying to resist the agenda are labeled conspiracy theorists. And that's what we see. The rise of authoritarianism, gaslighting, and obedience. The worst thing, obedience. The West is following the road into tyranny, a mass surveillance state. Instead of free speech, we see increasing levels of censorship, state bureaucracy, and craziest regulations invading even more areas of our life. More and more Western countries are flirting with full-blown totalitarian rule. And I talked to some of you guys here, and we agree, and you are from different countries. We have different experiences from different places in the world. And what I saw, especially in Denmark, was the people were infected with hyper-conformity and blind obedience. The pathological conformity that infects the West is driven by the value system in which social validation occupies a very preeminent position. In Denmark, very much. One of the ways that Western conformity manifests is a blind obedience and a pathological need to follow rules. And that's what I don't see in Bulgaria. That's why I'm here. So, in Denmark, which also that's the country that I love deep inside. You have to understand that. That's crazy. That's where a lot of people reside that I really love, my children, and this country that I've been staying for 32 years. It's very harsh realization. So, but the pathological need to follow rules is something that I hate. Most people believe that to be a good person is to be a compliant person and to do what one is told by those in position of political power. And people fail to differentiate between morality and legality, and so they remain willfully ignorant of the fact that government rules can be immoral and driven by corruption. And here is a lyrical digression, you can call it, but it's a quote actually by a guy that you all know, Henry Kissinger. Actually, by the way, a very big inspiration of Herr Klaus Schwab, creator of the World Economic Forum, that is responsible for both planning and implementing the Great Reset and the New World Order right now, in these very days, all over the world. So what Henry Kissinger, the big inspiration of Klaus Schwab, he said, corrupt politicians make the other 10% look bad. And I love this one. So that's about the people that the good person are compliant with, with their rules and with the blind obedience to them. And this is fantastic. Well, this is crazy. This is crazy. So basically that process has, and you know, there's something called as courage. If you remember, I remember in Russia, we've been talking about courage a lot. It was like with cultivating courage. I don't know if you, in US or in Holland, Netherlands or Denmark, other places in the world, UK, was talking about courage. Courage was something. But courage is not really popular in the mass media, and it's not cultivated anymore. So that process that I'm talking about of authoritarianism has crowded out the cultivation of courage by us human beings. Because conformity and courage are antagonists. Conformity and courage are antagonists. So, and what is permitting the rise of authoritarianism? It's widespread cowardice. That word is not so nice, right? But we have to use it. What can be an antidote to cowardice? Only the rebirth of courage. And we guys, we need to work on this. We need to take responsibility for that, because nobody will do it for us and for the others too. Most of the people are not aware about it. And I'm coming from the country with a good tradition for being different. And one of them that had courage of being different was my fellow countryman, Alexander Solzhenitsyn. And, you know, he was given a Nobel Prize in 1978, and he delivered a shocking Harvard speech, actually shocking for the West, because it was largely forgotten, and the speech remains an important and prophetic reminder of the sickness that plagues our culture. And I wanted to say Western culture, but it's Western culture, and also the culture, you can see it's the same thing in Russia, the same thing in other places. I want to show you the quote. That's the guy. That's Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Yeah. And the quote that I chose was, "A decline in courage may be the most striking feature that an outside observer notices in the West today. The Western world has lost its civic courage, both as a whole and separately, in each country, in each government, in each political party, and of course in the United Nations. Such a decline in courage is particularly noticeable among the ruling and intellectual elites, causing an impression of a loss of courage by the entire society. There are many courageous individuals, but they have no determining influence on public life." And when I'm reading this, I have goosebumps, because it was 78, and it's 44 years ago, and it's still the same. So, and should I point out, like people that work with history are working with the ancient times, and they used to say that from ancient times, declining courage has been considered the beginning of an end. Okay? But, and I see it actually as the end of an epoch now, but not at all necessarily the end of us, me and you guys. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. When we decide that, we start seeing the path. So, the rebirth of courage is already underway. Why the courage? Because to take full responsibility in our hands, we need courage. And we're talking about health in this group, right? And some of you are thinking, what the hell is he talking about? I'm talking about very important things that we need to talk about, we need to address, and we need to connect the dots of what is happening in the world with what we ought to do, what we should do, and what we can learn to do. And that's what we're talking about. So to take full responsibility in our hands, we need courage. And I can show you the path to courage. It's actually physical. The courage comes from this very physical point. That's the point where you don't have fear. That's the point where you're able to think clearly and be unaffected by fear. That's the point that can lead you to some very, very interesting places, I'm telling you. And most of the foremost is the point of healing, because that's the higher point, and it controls the 5 areas that are defining the life of human beings. And what I'm talking about is that fantastic point that I'm using more and more in my teaching, and it's right there. You can see the 5-star right there in the middle, a little black point. It's here, and this is point, basically that's the point of one point of focus. That's the point of the process. That's also, I thought before that it was just a point of the process where you can do the process, but now, and that's the difference from my program 2 years ago and the program now, I understood that through this point we can control adaptation of nutrition, adaptation of breathing, adaptation of mental efficiency, distribution, and mental resilience, physical resilience, and immune resilience. And all my training from now on, it goes through one pointed attention. So when that allows us to optimize our human environment, that automatically optimizes the cellular environment and change the flow of extracellular fluid, change the matrix, basically the extracellular matrix, change our tissues, muscles, bones, organs, blood, lymph. That's basically what is happening. And so that's I found more and more that the Hara training opens up for fearlessness, for detachment from the fear, hesitancy, indecision induced by the diagnosis. And I'm working with people with oncology, and I found out that what I called before, and I still call mental training, mental resilience, can be reinforced so many times if we train the samurai way, no fear. And that's what Hara is about. That's the samurai path of training. They train their children, 4 years old children, to not feel fear by sensing the belly. And that's a very physical thing. And that's what I discovered. So I'm doing it more and more. And instead of training, I will propose you guys to learn the states and how to come in to the states. So we can with time eliminate training from the life-changing regimens. We can enter states instead. And this is very radical, and this is very different, and that's could be a paradigm shift. So and basically when we work with Hara, we have this shift from negativity to positivity that is almost physical. And when induced by Hara training, it has a potential to be truly life-changing. And that's what I have learned from my experience in the last 10 years of intensive work with cancer clients of the BBT program, Beat Brain Tumors program. So the ability to stop fear and cultivate radical acceptance, okay, love, will crowd out cancer and other diseases. And Hara paved the road to better learning, better practice, and it's physical. Remember, we will train it on the new program. We will train breathing through it. We will train nutrition, and we'll train adaptation to all the changes through Hara. That's an interesting thing. So Hara leads to something we call continuity of action, because when you're inspired, and we told about inspiration, when you push yourself into making a new big decision, you get inspired, like in those books. Remember I told you, you are in the flow. And Hara creates a very strong synergistic effect with the state of inspired flow. And you don't need power of will there at all. And most of us use the absence of willpower as an excuse for not taking action. So that was Vladimir Basov, Russian director and actor. He said, continuity of action is the best form for being. So there are many people that are ready to take full responsibility for their health in their own hands. Understanding this helped me to come out from my inner exile and to see the light and be inspired to make this very campaign, actually. And I can see people that are ready to take this step. That's why I'm talking about this. And in connection with the times that are right now, building and joining tribes is now becoming so necessary for us who want to preserve a way of life that runs counter to the plans of the world elite. So we are finding these people now coming back to the wise traditions, and basically we can join in and we make some effort to shape the world this planet, beautiful planet, deserves. Not the world shaped by psychopaths, right? So basically, I propose you to become a part of my tribe. Go together through this autumn, through this winter, possibly some government-imposed lockdowns, possibly some more agenda measures, possibly some degree of economic and financial collapse, possibly, but it doesn't matter what, we will endure together, staying in our collective hara, and I tell you, we will come out of this even more resilient. And that's the thing. So this is time of change, that's right, but if we choose this, it could make us stronger and at the same time bring us the best of health. What's not to like? And basically when we do changes, it's much easier to go through the big changes, right? When we're together. So, I propose you to become a part of my tribe. I will give you my knowledge. I will give you my support on your path. It will be a journey together. We can say a joint operation. I used to say it takes two to tango. Sounds somehow smoother than a joint operation. But so let me explain what I want to offer you. That's four things. Four things. Firstly, I offer you learning material that has now proved to be able to help many people to come back to living a full life with joy. That's what a return to a healthy body does. Healthy mind. You can think freely. You can gain the ability to stop being stressed and dominated by the environment. Healthy physics. Movement without pain. Ability to extend your physical, your muscular reach. Healthy immunity, where your body doesn't need external help to control the invaders, the opportunistic organisms. Practically speaking, bacteria, worms, fungi, maybe even viruses. Who knows? Or should we say the body gets better to resist toxic load? Also that. So there's a lot of opportunity to learn on the program. Also for those of my tribal people that have chosen to go to the second round, I know many of you here, you will go through the material and understand it at an even deeper level. I will show you what it is about. A couple of pictures here. Basically that's the program levels, and level 1 awareness, and that's taking responsibility. That's the first 3 months. And then progress, integration, and mastery. And every level contains 6 modules. Breathing, you can learn more about it on the side here on the page. Nutrition, mental, immune, physical resilience, and also art of the process. You can read about all those things here. So, secondly, I offer you support, both from myself and from the community of like-minded people, your tribe. And why is it crucial? Because the initial inspiration driving you to act will not always be there. That's the reality of things. That's what happened. We are falling off the wagon, and most of the people do it from time to time. And that's what makes a difference with the tribe. If you open up about your challenges, you start expressing them more freely on our weekly Q&As, in the form of questions for the community, comments, etc., etc. And it will help you to find your personal answer that will support you building your own personal path. And that's basically how the week is made. You see how not to fall off the wagon. We have different topics of the week here every week, and both sharing experience and live Q&As and meetings. So that's support. So the first one was knowledge, the second is support, and third, that's the process, and we have new possibilities here. So that's the third one. I offer you to build your new process together. And it's not only your health process, it's your life process. Because the program proved to be life-changing to many of my clients. If you need personal sessions, that's a new thing. They are now a possibility on the program as an extra feature. It was not before. So there's also a possibility for personal health mentorship, which goes as an extra sessions every week, one-on-one. It's also a possibility now as an extra to the program. There's also a whole new level. That's called personal health, life and business change, mentorship. It's also a possibility. That's high level, high ticket, what we call. And also there's a possibility for certification in my protocol, Sakharoff protocol, after 1 year, for all who went through 1 year. And this year I certified 3 people, among them 2 MDs that have been on the program for several years. They can now all teach the protocol and use it for their clients. And I'm very happy to invite them and actually to give some teach on the Q&As and the seminars during the year. That's all something new. And finally, the fourth one that I offer, it's an inspiration to act, to move in the new directions that enable opportunity for a quantum leap. And there's many new things here. What about off-grid building and living processes, which I'm now engaged in? We've already got our own water, our own electricity, our own garden. Next on the plan is our own animals. That's a real quantum leap in terms of freedom and independence of the state structures. What about 1 week challenges? We can be different. We could engage in a crazy shift in your eating patterns. And actually it can make a very big difference. And in my experience, it can lead to a quantum leap, energy-wise. Get rid of food addictions. Possibility. It's actually much easier to actually succeed doing it together, that kinds of challenges, because of the tribe support and accountability. And that can be inside of our program. That could be weekly training sessions in hard practice. Finding a place of inner dojo where you can enable in practically all life situations. For example, I will teach you something new to me. And guys, that's the first time I am talking about it. How to use the Hara experience and the ability to enter Hara fast. And you see, you can enter Hara fast. You can learn it. Like, I feel it like being taken and dropped. And then you fall and you come into Hara very fast. I visualize it and I can come in this state very fast. So what will happen? It will actually cause a quantum leap in your orgasmic experience. That's right. And it can be used both by men and women. And that's something new that I can tell you how it works. So I'm about writing 2 books now. One about nutrition, about breathing. It's also something new. I will present the totally new book material for you in the program. We can have creativity masterclasses about the importance of having creativity in your life, practical ones, having arts. We can have new physical masterclasses, and I'm actually I'm making one. I'm shooting one right now about working with club bells and how to visualize that you are working out with swords, with 2 swords. if you visualize it, it can be a very strong experience for those who want to work with eliminating fear. So you're actually shielding yourself with weapon. And that's from my experience with the first program that I made. It was called Dancing Sword. So I will teach you how to make this tool yourself using a big water bottle, piece of wood, and a screw. And it's called a Pahlavandel or Palavandel. And I'm training with it every day. That's fantastic experience. That's fantastic to the first exercise that you do, and it wakes your body up. Or what about starting your day by dancing in the kitchen? A workshop. I'm actually serious. So, if you want to start the process of changing your life to the better, you can act, and you can do it now. And I'm offering you some help right now, tonight. My offer, if you choose to act today, I'm giving you a free session with me. If you act today, I'm offering you a one-on-one session, the whole hour, unabridged attention on your health, your life situation, free session. We will scheme the most important areas of the program for your particular health situation and life situation. So we can choose some directions, and I will help you to prioritize between those directions or areas. This 1 hour or 1.5 hours, if we will need that, will help you to make your personal plan for your time on the program. The normal cost is $300 or $400 USD dollars, actually close to the cost of a whole level on the program, to the 3 months, and I'm giving it free. My offer stops working at midnight tonight, European time. My program works in levels. Each level is 3 months. You can pay quarterly per level every 3 months. You can pay half yearly every 6 months, or pay the whole program, 4 levels, 1 year. And if you buy 1 year, you are giving yourself a big opportunity to seriously invest in your life, because then you are insured to get my help and experience through the whole year. And you said you visualize it also. Then you have a whole year of the practice and of support. And everything doesn't matter. You buy 1 year, half a year, or 3 months. It will require work from your side. I'm not a magician, but I think that together we can walk the path. We will be able to learn to know each other and tailor a very good process together, slowly. And I can tell actually there are already people in the program that have prioritized buying a full year. So that's great. I appreciate very much their trust in me, but also appreciate their confidence in this decision to invest in their life. Thank you. Investing in your life is a prerequisite for moving forward. That's what I learned. And nothing is more important than that. So, last words. Last time I had an intake like this, it was 2 years ago in 2020. Today, I'm opening the program for the first time after that. And this time is going to be different. Now I decided to target individuals, professionals, that want to have energy to come to the next level, a quantum leap. And quantum leap is huge, often sudden, increase or advance in something. So, we've done it already with the most aggressive brain tumors, other serious diseases, when people really need a quantum leap to survive. Happily, we all have different challenges. People on this program don't have these kind of challenges, but we have other challenges. So, this program will have a couple of new features. It's now giving a built-in possibility, an opportunity for a quantum leap. Okay? Huge, often sudden increase or advance in something. And we can have different possibilities. So no more fucking trials. We're doing this. Just doing. So if you need a quantum leap in your life, I now declare this bazaar open. and the green button here appeared now. You can see the green button. It says program is open. Join now, get bonus. Closes midnight today. Hope to see you on the program this Sunday. And now we are starting the intake on our Shift Metabolic program. See this green button. It's the action button. Push, join now. And as I say, my offer with free planning one-on-one session expires at midnight European time. And I'm looking forward to starting with you guys on Sunday. That's where you get the first welcome post in the app. You have to register in the app. You get, when you buy, you get the mail that explains everything. Well, almost everything. And then we meet at the first Q&A next week. You'll get all the reminders in the app, also under the course. So basically, all the guys, if you want to start again on the program, you've been through the year, and I know there's many of you here. Please, I send you the letter. I sent you the mail a couple of hours ago, 4 or 5 hours ago, where I'm explaining how I have some special, special offer for you guys. So for you who want to start a program again, don't use this button. Use the link that I have sent you for some hours ago. And if you don't find the mail, look at the spam or write to me. I love you guys. Thank you very much. And I'm sending you my hearts here. And I'm looking very much forward starting with you and living together through the difficult times and actually gaining your resilience through it. So, what's not to like? I love you. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you for your attention.